Cut out all distractions, gotta stay focused. When the Twin Towers fell, I didn't even notice. Look, she left me in the cold, now my heart too frozen. I can't fall in love, all these hoes atrocious. Remember back in the day, me and the bros was burning bush like Moses. Get the blunt, I smoke it, pass it like I'm Jokic. I'm about to, alright, that's enough. One take Johnson. This is all it's gonna take, baby. No pauses, no shenanigans, no tomfoolery, nothing goofy about it. Alrighty. This is the channel where I simply talk. Nothing else going on, no script, no nothing. Just let it flow out of my mouth. And that's what it is, baby. Here's a few housekeeping things. A lot of people have been asking for a Discord. I used to have a Discord, as some may know. That didn't really go well because the issue is, I didn't really keep it down on lock. People started throwing slurs, started putting graphic imagery, videos of people porking or dying or whatever. And part of me likes that kind of thing, just wild, uncensored internet schizophrenia, free speech. But, I kind of just got this platform. I want to do certain things. I don't want it to just be over right after it started, and I'll just get booted off the internet if I continue associating with this sort of schizo behavior. So I hope that's understandable. I'm not trying to be a martyr for free speech before, I just got here. What else? I'm about to do another stream soon where I read more confessions because that was pretty funny. And graphic designers hit me up in the email that is in the description, johnsonbidness@gmail.com, because I'm trying to make some designs. I have a question here, but I can't read. So, and I've got this question in different variations many times. And it pertains consistency when trying to build good habits and improve yourself, because it seems like on self-improvement you get into these pockets where you do everything right. You're not succumbing to any of these bad habits, not touching your worm, not playing video games, not doing whatever the issue is, smoking weed. You're going to the gym consistently. You're reading all these books, you're meditating, yada yada, whatever. You get into these pockets where it goes very well. And then it falls apart. And you go through these cycles where you have this intense motivation. You feel like you're back. We so back. This strong discipline. And then it falls away. And you mess up. And you just continue going on this ongoing cycle. So you never really were back, were you? Because you were back for such a fleeting amount of time. So you never really have the consistency to really change yourself as a person, because you always snap back to your own ways. It's almost like discipline is like you're pulling back a bowstring, and you hold it there, you think you're good, and then it goes back. So, and I've seen people address this. It's a pretty common thing, this lack of consistency when it comes to self-improvement. And people give advice like, in order to break this cycle, you should do certain visualizations, write shit down, journaling, this type of thing. And these things do help, but they are temporary solutions. And they themselves are habits that, take a certain amount of motivation and discipline themselves to do every day. So they're not permanent things that are going on that will really solve the problem, at least in my opinion. And this is something I've struggled with a lot too. I'm coming off of a nice little retention streak, about a month and a half. Lost it a couple days ago. Not too shabby, but this is how it is. Not just with no fat, but with many things. And some things are easy. Like going to the gym for me consistently is pretty easy. I don't find that to be that hard, because I kind of need to do that it helps me sleep at night. So that's kind of why I do it. But that's besides the point. Some things are easy, some things are hard. Yeah, but and it's random with things like no fap. I'll go a couple months, then I'll go 90 days, then I'll go almost a year, and then I'll do it a week later. Then I'll hit the infamous three-peat, the triple threat, the wombo combo, 3 times in one day, pummeling my meat to smithereens. Then I'll go another couple weeks, then I'll go a month and a half, and it seems like I never really truly walk away, never really truly get there. And this is just one example of many when it pertains to bad habits I'm trying to purge and good habits I'm trying to develop. And the thing I've realized about how to break this cycle is an answer I feel like a lot of people won't like, because it's something deeper. It's something spiritual. It's something religious. Some people may have noticed this sort of connection between that's often happens between this growing space on the internet of lost young men who come to self-improvement and religion. And I also said I was going to talk about that, and I realized how connected these things are. And for the time being, I'm not going to sell any personal religion. This is going to be mostly about how being atheist is cringe. Being agnostic, I guess, is a little better, but that's also kind of lame. Like, make up your fucking mind, dude. Like, choose something. Stop being, whatever. Here's why atheism is cringe. I feel like I'm pretty confident in feeling this way. So, what atheists act like is that the human default is sort of not to believe anything. It's always this institution of religion that's pushing their beliefs on everybody. But the human factory default is just to not be religious. But this is completely far from the truth. Because the truth of the matter is, all cultures around the world since the dawn of time have been religious. Whether you want to or not, you will be religious. Atheism itself is a religion. You will make something your God, whether you want to or not. Something you will deify something, because this is something that is innate in humans. Whether this is programmed into us by a higher power, or this is some sort of a coping mechanism to help us comprehend our own mortality, and just they're called immortality projects, I think, is what some atheist author wrote it as. This is what religion is. It's just a way for us to do that. And that's a different conversation I won't pretend to know, but what is established is that religion is intrinsic. It is our factory default. All humans are religious, whether we want to be or not. This has always been the case. Religion is culture. Religion is community. Religion is all of these things that come from belief, a shared belief. So what happens when you're atheist nowadays is you usually choose, you deify something whether you want to or not, as I've said. So if you go on like r/atheism, what this usually manifests as is it's the progressive religion. The religion of progress, the science, technology, very socially liberal sort of politics, striving towards this utopia of equality, of technology, of science, right? And if you watch this channel, you probably don't agree with that sort of thing, because it seems like the whole project of postmodernity, of all this project, of all this progress. There's a creature outside my door. Of all this progress, it seems to almost have the sole goal of just like atomizing, especially for young men, just atomizing people. Well, for women as well. Like, it's just they've been tricked. For atomizing people, taking away their family, their community, their identity, making them live solely to consume products, to escape, to not own anything, to not have any real purpose. This is what seems to happen, and you really take away the whole idea of these movements being like a counterculture, some sort of edgy thing the people made when you look at it, and massive banks and asset management companies, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, funnel billions of dollars into promoting these sorts of things. It's almost like the people didn't make it all. It's almost like it's just damn near fake, completely contrived to program, right? But that's getting a little bit in the weeds. So when you don't believe so when you choose to believe in atheism and you reject any sort of God, I'm mainly talking about like Christianity and Islam, because those are the main religions that are associated with this space. And I'm not getting into the weeds there either. I'm purely trying to explain why atheism is cringe. So when you reject these religions, when you choose to believe in atheism, that's what usually will happen. But a lot of these guys on self-improvement aren't who have been attracted to this space aren't religious, but they're also not atheists, and they disagree with all these politics, all of these progressive. They disagree with the progressive religion. They disagree with, or they haven't considered, or whatever. They also are not aligned with Christianity or Islam or these monotheistic religions. So what do they deify? What happens is they deify themselves. They make their selves their God. And something, I like this space. Has this been echoing my headphones? Balls. Come. It hasn't. I'm schizophrenic. Something has always bothered me in this space. Even though I really like it, it's cool. It's helped me a whole lot. There's always been something that sort of irked me in the back of my mind about this whole self-improvement, all these guys just like jacking off. Oh, I'm improving, yeah. Because the whole thing is very vain. It's very egoic. The purpose of working out, the purpose of doing all these things is all pretty much a vanity project, right? And this is unfortunate for... This does make it pretty unfortunate for guys who are less genetically lucky, and they won't be able to achieve the same amount of success with women, or respect from men. Like there's not really any 5'3" self-improvement YouTubers, are there? Not that I know of. But yeah. So there's that. That's not the point that I was trying to get at, though. That's just a little bit of a sidetrack. Bing bong bing, bing bong bing. The whole thing is kind of vain. These guys, like, my workout progress. I was 90 pounds, then I worked out, motivation, dedication, kept on eating, kept on working, dedication, motivation, da-da-da. They were motivated and dedicated at the same time. It's pretty wild when you think about it. And they post these pictures, and they're doing the bench press, and they get big. And then, and they say, I'm doing this to inspire people. It's like, okay, all right. You're trying to inspire people. I don't know. Maybe that's one of your motivations, but I think you also might hope that people will see your shirtless pics and jack off and be like, "Oh my gosh, he's so cool." And then bitches will somehow hear about this through the grapevine, and you'll get some sort of poon. Because if you really go to the seed of any actions a young man takes, what is it for? What is it for, I asked you? Riddle me that. You know the goddamn answer. It's for some cooter. You don't have to be, Sherlock Holmes to work that shit out. You don't have to be Albert Einstein nor Gerbert Johnson. You just have to look around and use your head a little bit. I just came up with a total sidetrack. I'm not going to get into it. Yeah. I actually need to pause because I need to reorganize my thoughts. So yeah, there's always been something cringe about this self-improvement space because they are deifying themselves, and it's culty, and it's very, very vain. You go and you look at these videos of it'll be like reject modernity, embrace tradition or something, and I'm guilty of all this shit, by the way, and it's like it's a video, the thumbnail is like some a girl in cosplay with giant milkers and emo makeup. It's like, okay, I guess that represents modernity. So people will click on it, and then it's next to some Greek statue or something, and you click on it, and it's some skinny guy going ba-ba-da-boo-boo, and then it cuts to Ziz, and you know what? I'm gonna say it. It's kind of not. I never really did it for me. Kind of gay. So, but yeah, this is what happens. You deify yourself, and this isn't good because this is what that sort of self-improvement is about. When you deify yourself, is you're trying to turn yourself into a god. You see your self-development as the ultimate goal. It's not gearing yourself towards something higher. And when you make yourself your god, you are bound to fail. That's the claim of this video. That's what all this build-up and stupid shit I've been saying is leading up to. That's the point. Because you are not God. You are not the Almighty. You are not that guy. You're not him. You are a human. Your nature is fallen. You are inconsistent. Even if you have the privilege, you have good genetics, you have all these things, you're going good for a long time, you get this trad wife, it goes well. Some things still may happen that will break your discipline, even if you were extremely disciplined. Some sort of tragedy or disaster will strike, some sort of chaos. She'll have a miscarriage. Maybe she's infertile. God forbid something happens to one of your kids, or you get injured really badly. Something like this will completely change the trajectory of life. Where's your discipline now? It's gone. And these are the kind of tragedies that would constantly beset people of the old world, in which religion was a much more dominating force. So when you make yourself your God, you are bound to fail. The people who I have talked to, who I observe, who are the most consistent in doing these sort of things, which are very connected with religion. When you look into the tenets of self-improvement, you see how congruent they are with these religions, with these monotheistic religions I'm talking about. The people who are most consistent are God-fearing individuals, people who are striving towards asceticism. These are the people who I'll talk to, even if they had a problem before, never beaten it, because they truly, having faith in yourself is good. That will take you a long way, when it comes to consistency. But because you're not God, because you're not perfect, because you are a human, and this is what the black pill, getting into the black pill actually did lead me towards religion, because it truly taught me how human nature is fallen. When you really get into the weeds of human psychology, of how men and women really think, and you observe it, you understand, okay, we are monkeys. And, okay, the goal of this video isn't to persuade you of religion as like a belief system, but you should accept it, you should at least respect it as a value system, because it is what brought us out of this monkeydom. Religion goes against all of these things. It's what made us have these monogamous systems, or like very regulated polygamy, which or polygyny, which is specifically when men have multiple women. And it facilitates marriage, it facilitates family creation. It's what made all this shit happen. All of society. All the buildings, all the, all that shit. So, yippity-doo-dah. When you deify yourself, you're bound to fail. Because you need to gear yourself towards something higher. And when you truly fear this higher power, when you really get into it, these religious people are the most disciplined people ever. It's the ultimate form of accountability, having this this person always watching over you, and it inside it provides a community of other people, and you are urged to do things like confess. That's extremely base. You have this community of people, you have a higher power in God, you also have a higher power in, a structure of people you could confess to or talk about. You have this community, and that's what it is, baby. That is my advice of how to break the cycle, and also why religion is based at least as a value system. Now, some people accept it as a value system and they stay there. They really are not inclined to believe in God. And I'm not going to be mad about that. If that's really just not you, I could see that happening. I still respect your opinion, but don't. You should definitely accept it as a value system, and I truly. You know what? No, I truly do think that in order to break this cycle that many people have messaged me about, constantly thinking you're going to do better, constantly saying you're back, thinking your whole life is going to change, but it never does. These things require a sort of paradigm shift in your minds, and really getting into religion and gearing yourself towards something higher, so that you don't make yourself your God, because you will always fail, because you are imperfect. And I think looping back to how I talked about how looking at these aspects of human sort of evolutionary psychology, all these things made me realize how fallen we are, and this is what religion says. It's like we're twisted creatures. We're monkeys. All these girls out here, low key. Yeah, I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna go. I'm not even gonna. Let me just chill out. All right, you got the point of the video, right? You got what Daddy's trying to say. You have to gear yourself towards something higher because you're not God. Like, calm down, bro. Cut all that shit out. It's all fleeting. It's all vain. It's all vaporous. In order to really achieve consistency, you have to gear yourself towards something higher. Now I'm repeating myself, so I'm going to cut it off. Have a good day.